What's up, kings and queens? It's your boy Dan from Daft Previews. We've had 3 straight winning days, 10 and 2 overall in these player props that I've shared with you guys. I've got 3 more NBA player props that I've already got down, which I'm going to share with you today. Now, if that sounds interesting, let's go.
Sub to the channel cause your boy's getting busy. Coming to you live from the west side of Sydney. We've got the free picks and the juice on the daily. It's all free, you don't even have to pay me.
So before we jump into the picks, I've got to recap the day that was. I saw a few comments in the last video saying, hey, where's the VIP updates? Why aren't you recapping them? So part of the reason why I haven't been sharing the VIP updates is really because I don't want to draw out too much time between the start of the video until when I actually start delivering picks. But if you guys want it, here it is. Yesterday, I shared 4 picks with you guys, went 3 and 1. It's pretty good. Overall for VIP, 4.92 units profit. We made over 5 units profit on the NBA. We lost 0.1 units on the NFL, only 2 bets. But man, it was a frustrating day. The games where we lost it was painful. Let me talk you through it. We won 5 units though. 5 units profit, meaning we're at 58.8 units profit in the month of December for VIP. So I'm up almost $6,000. So I'm pretty happy with that. Let's talk about the losing bets though. I did bet on Domantas Sabonis over 19.5 rebounds and assists. He finishes with 19. My man fouls out and we finish on the hook. What's ridiculous, he had so many stupid fouls too. Like, idiot. Anyway, I made the bet. It was my decision. I have to wear that. But God, Sabonis pissed me off. Next, we had Cade Cunningham over 9.5 assists. Now, he doesn't play the fourth quarter. This bet was looking great the whole time. He had like 2 or 3 after the first quarter. He had 5 or 6 after halftime. He had like 7 or 8 towards the end of the third quarter. And then he doesn't play the fourth. Absolutely frustrating. Then Malik Beasley, over 14.5 points. He finishes on 14. Very similar to Cade Cunningham. Doesn't play the fourth quarter. He only played 18 minutes. That was an absolute brutal hook there. That game in general was frustrating. And then we had Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And I shared this on the video. And I got to tell you, this is the worst bet of the day. This was a terrible bet. Absolutely disgusting. It doesn't matter what the data says. I think it was an awful bet, partly not because it lost. I was watching the game and I was like, I hate this bet already. I hate it. I hated it the minute he scored, 9 points in the first quarter. I was like, this bet sucks. This is not going to work well. Now, partly why I'm saying that this was such a bad bet was when I made the video last night and I was doing my research for picks. You guys would have remembered me saying there's so many game time decisions, it was hard to get a bet down. Well, I might have been looking too hard to find a bet to make it happen, especially in this game. I always wanted to take Aaron Wiggins for points, but his odds and lines weren't available too close to the game starting. I knew Caruso was out, I knew Dort was out, I knew Cason Wallace was out. Wiggins, excellent when he gets the time. And I didn't wait, which makes this a stupid bet. Even if this bet wins, it's still a bad bet because I knew that there were other better bets on the table for this particular game. Went with SWA. The minute Wiggins started heating up, I thought, oh, we're in trouble. Then Jalen Williams started scoring, and I thought, we're done here. It's finished. But SGA plays a lot of game in the fourth quarter. Couldn't close it out as easy as they wanted to, but he didn't score a point anyway. So that sucks, and I apologize if you follow that SGA pick and it didn't cash for you, but this happens sometimes. You're going to learn from it. I'm going to own that. I made the bet, and I pushed it out to you guys. So my bad on that one. On the NFL, we had one loser. It was Corum over 15.5 rushing yards. He finishes -4, but that's purely because I expected the Rams to ram the Cards today, and it didn't happen. The game was actually quite close. So this bloke didn't really get a run, but not too upset about that. We did hit a lot of winners though, and a lot of these winners, they were sweat free. Trae Young under 23.5 points, that was easy. Miles Bridges over 7.5 rebounds, he finishes with 10. Koulibaly 3.5 assists, finishes with 6. Dame Lillard over 6.5 assists. What did he finish on? 10, 11, 12? Whatever it was. I stopped watching after he got to 8. Spencer Dinwiddie though, over 16.5 points and assists. If you just look at the box score, he cleared it really easy. But if you're watching the game, this whole thing was frustrating. Being transparent with you, I marked this as a loser when it was in the third quarter because he had done nothing, and then he exploded into the fourth. So I'd say I got lucky on the Spencer Dinwiddie play there. And in the NFL, we had McBride over 62.5 receiving yards. That was a sweat-free third quarter cash. But we also hit 2 value plays, Bilal Koulibaly and Miles Bridges. Let me show you that real quick. This was Bilal Koulibaly, over in points, over in rebounds, 5+ assists, $50 into 375. And we also hit on Miles Bridges, 10 rebounds, $50 into $205. This is how the NBA season is tracking so far. These are just my NBA bets. As you can see, started off the year slowly. Then we started picking up in November, and we haven't looked back. So we're killing it. 76 units. up on the season. I wanted to hit 100 units profit on the NBA because that's what I did last season. It looks like we're going to hit 100 a lot sooner than I originally thought of. But to celebrate, it's almost 2025. We're almost hitting a brand new year. So what I've done is I've created a new NBA season pass. Now, this season pass is for people who want to bet on the NBA every single day, and you need to have traditional sports books so you can do same game parlays, because that's what my strategy depends on. Same game parlays and a whole lot of straight bets. We're up 76 units on the NBA so far. Hoping we can get to 150 to 200 units profit on the NBA. But if you're somebody who bets on the NBA every single day and you want to stick with me, my strategy, the bankroll management stuff that I do, then this is the plan for you. You can use the code 2025 to get 25% off. This will run between now and the end of the season, including the playoffs. So feel free to check that out. The link for that's in the video description below. But if you just want to try like VIP to see what this is all about, all you need to do, sign up to BETR and BOOM. I'll also put you in the giveaway if you do. Sign up to either app. Use my codes or the links in the video description. Deposit $10. Send me an email with a screenshot of your account. If you happen to sign up with both, I'll give you 2 entries into the giveaway, the draw, where I'm giving $100 to 3 different people once we hit 50 referrals. So go ahead and check that out. Link for that is in the video description below. Now let's get into these picks, shall we? Let's go. So we're jumping into props madness. This is the best tool you're going to find for betting on NBA player props. The more data it gets, the better it gets. It is advanced as hell, but it gives me the biggest edge you can possibly imagine. All your favorite cappers, YouTubers, they're using this, and if they're not using it, they really should be. Go ahead and check it out. 7-day free trial in the video description below. Plus, you get 25% off if you use the code DAFT when you sign up. Now, I spent more time than I normally would trying to find bets for this particular slate of games. And I don't want to do what I did last time with SGA and try to force something out. So I've only got the 3 bets to share with you today. So I'll take you through all 3 of those. I'm not going to do a deep dive into this. Being honest with you guys, I'm actually getting quite sick, coughing, sneezing, all that type of stuff. Taking me ages to edit these videos because I'm coughing all the time, and then I have to edit that stuff out. So I'm not going to draw this video out any longer than it needs to be. I'll give you the 3 bets. I'll give you the reasons why, and then I'll get the hell out of here. For those of you who are signed into my winnable, you'll get any extra plays that I do come up with, because you know I always delivering the goods, right? So first bet that I wanted to share with you guys, though, is in this Grizzlies versus the Thunder game. We're not betting on an SGA to score over 30.5 points, as much as I would love to, because there could be a bounce back. I'm actually betting on Jalen Wells today. Jalen Wells. So why do we like Jalen Wells today? Well, partly he's going to get more opportunities. Check to see who's missing. Ja Morant is out. Marcus Smart is out. So with those 2 guys out of the lineup, Jalen Wells, he's over this line in 4 out of the 6 games. If we're looking about what lines are available, I took this at 10.5. See if you can get it at 10.5. Half the books do have it, but it probably does move to 11.5, especially if it's true and I actually move lines. Then yeah, this might move. But 11.5, would I take it? Yeah, I probably would still take it. But 10.5, he's covered in 5 out of 6 games, averaging 15 points per game with Ja Morant and Marcus Smart out of the lineup. Now, you're probably thinking, tough-ass matchup, right? Versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. Very good at defending guards, very good defensively overall. Well, you'd be right. But the one weak link that the OKC Thunder have is, in fact, they give up quite a few points to spot-up shooters, especially in the corners. Now, if we look at Jalen Wells and his play type, 35% of his points are scored in the spot-up, where the OKC Thunder allow the 10th most points. So the matchup's pretty nice here. If we look at similar types of players, and these are the types of players who depend on the spot-up to get their buckets, 10 out of the last 15 of them have gone over their points line against OKC. The spread we're looking at here is only +7. So despite Ja Morant and Marcus Smart being out, they do have the rest advantage. They do have some size advantages too. Zach Edey in there. This Grizzlies team's actually playing all right. OKC, that game against Charlotte was closer than it really should have been. But regardless, we're talking about Jalen Wells here. I think this is a good matchup for him. He's going to see a good chunk of minutes. I'm hoping to see at least 30 minutes here, some good volume. The main thing that will probably let this play down is if he doesn't get the shot right. If the shot percentage is down, then it might be a little bit difficult for him. But as I look through this roster for the Memphis Grizzlies, I don't know where the points are going to come from. I think Desmond Bane's going to have a difficult time. Scottie Pippen Jr., I don't know how he's going to score 14.5 points. Zach Edey was one that I did consider. I think he could have some luck down there with Isaiah Hartenstein. Jaren Jackson Jr., he's going to have a significant size advantage on whoever's defending him, so he could be a good look. But for me, I'm rolling with Jalen Wells. I like his game. His jump shot is nice. The matchup makes sense. And the fact that he's done so well when Marcus Smart and Ja Morant out of the lineup, it gives me a little bit of confidence. So Jalen Wells is the first pick that I wanted to share with you guys. The next pick, we're heading over to the Indiana Pacers versus the Boston Celtics. So these guys are just running it back. Jaylen Brown torched him in the last game when I needed Jason Tatum. I personally think it's Jason Tatum time to shine, and he kills Indiana. But that was just a system play for me. I've got another system play that I want to talk you through. And we're going through Miles Turner today. And I actually forgot that this was a system play the last time these guys played. I've played it so many times, it completely slipped my mind when they just played a few days ago. But for Miles Turner, we're looking at his blocks, and we're looking at under 1.5 blocks for Miles Turner, plus 100, plus money here. Now, he's actually gone over this line in 16 out of 27 games. He's averaging 2.1 blocks per game this season. But why are we taking an under for Miles Turner? Well, let me show you. Firstly, in head-to-head matches with Boston this season, he only played them that most recent game. He had 0 blocks. He had nothing. And then if you look at last season's starter against Boston, he went under in 8 out of 9 games. And the only game he went over, I know this one too well. This was in the playoffs, and in this particular game, someone was driving to the rim. Miles Turner slaps down at the ball before, like, as the ball was in the guy's hands. He hadn't even lifted it up yet. So it was like near his hip. Miles Turner swipes down at it, knocks it out of his hands, and then it was a turnover, right? They awarded that as a block. Absolutely ridiculous. And why do I know that so well? It's because throughout last season, when I had established this as an opportunity, I was getting Miles Turner at like plus 150, 140, plus 130 to go under his blocks against Boston. And I made so much money off it. And I can't believe I forgot this last time. We missed out. It was plus money in the last game too. Still plus money now. But Miles Turner, looking at under his blocks, and why do we like the under in his blocks? Or not why do we like it? Why does this happen? Why doesn't he get many blocks against the Boston Celtics? You probably know this, right? It's the reason why the NBA ratings are down. It's because the Boston Celtics shoot so many three-pointers, it's almost impossible for Miles Turner to get these blocks. When they do happen to drive the rim, it's after a lot of rotations. Miles Turner switches on somebody, like he's on the perimeter. They're not going to drive the rim at the rim with Miles Turner sitting in the paint. Their offense is too smart for that. Maybe I'm overthinking this, but yeah, this is my system play on Miles Turner. 1.5 blocks, take the under. It's plus money. I've got a full unit on it. So that's the second play I wanted to share with you guys. Actually, before I get to that, the biggest risk in this play. The risk in this play is if Luke Cornett sees a lot of game time. So Al Horford, Kristaps Porzingis, they stretch the floor. So they shoot a lot of threes. They're not attacking the rim with Miles Turner. Luke Cornett can't do that. If he sees a lot of game time and Miles Turner's on the court at the same time, he's somebody that Miles Turner could potentially get a block on down low. But that's the main risk I see in this. Outside of that, I'm pretty confident in this. Miles Turner under 1.5 blocks. My final play, we're heading over to the Miami Heat versus the Houston Rockets. And I'm running with Dillon Brooks. So Dillon Brooks, I'm taking him over 12.5 points. Now, just a heads up to everybody, Dillon Brooks is a game time decision at the moment. He hasn't played in about 6 days. He's trying to come back from an ankle injury, but he's listed as questionable. And if he does play, I really do like this bet for him. So Dillon Brooks is over this line in 18 out of 27 games this season, averaging 14 points per game. He's got a 66% hit rate to the over, which is nice, right? But it could be a whole lot better when we break this down using props madness, and this you can't do anywhere else. So as you can see when we talk about matchups, Miami's a pretty good defensive team, but where they pretty poor at is defending spot up shooters, and we can see it right here. Dillon Brooks scores 40% of his points as a spot up shooter. The Miami Heat allow the third most points to spot up shooters. Now, how does Dillon Brooks go when he versus other teams that aren't very good at defending spot up shooters? Let me show you. So if we just remove the top 10 teams at defending spot up shooters, so we're leaving the bottom 20 teams in there, we can see that Dillon Brooks is over this line in 15 out of 21 games against these teams that allow points to spot up shooters. Now, something that is also very interesting, check this out. If I have a quick look at his three-pointers made prop, we can see here that most books are pricing Dillon Brooks to go over 1.5 three-pointers made at minus 170 all the way down to minus 195, meaning that all of the books heavily favored Dylan Brooks to make at least 2 3-pointers in this game. All right. So if I look at his points prop against these same types of teams, and we apply a filter that says if Dylan Brooks makes at least 2 3-pointers, what happens to this hit rate? If Dylan Brooks makes 2 3-pointers, he's over this line of 12.5 points in 13 out of 14 games, averaging 17.9 points per game. So I'm hoping the books are right. They've got his 3-pointers made prop heavily juiced. And if he cashes 2 3-pointers, there's a very high chance that he's going to cash the 12.5 points. So you're getting much better odds for 12.5 points than you would get for the 2 3-pointers. His matchup is really nice. I can definitely see this happening here for Dylan Brooks. Once he starts making a few shots, he doesn't stop. He gives himself the green light. So if Dylan Brooks does play, I do like his over here, 12.5 points. Let's go, Dylan. Put some Vaseline on your ankles and get in the game, my boy. Now, that's a wrap on the picks, but you don't have to go anywhere. I've got a couple of things I want to talk to you all about. One, I read the comments for every single one of my videos, and as a YouTuber, you really shouldn't be doing that because some people can say some very horrible things, but not you guys. I honestly think that I've got the most engaged audience in this whole sports betting niche. Like, I get like 300 to 400 comments now, and almost every single one of them is lovely. Even when the bets I give out lose, it's like, yeah, we know you bet lost, but I'm still riding with you. Like, you guys, absolute legends, and it means a lot to me. So please do keep that up because it does help the algorithm. I do ask you to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Your boy's trying to grow. Let's see if we can get to 50,000 subscribers by the end of this season. Who knows? You got to aim big. But as I was reviewing those comments, kind of prompts me to answer a few questions from time to time. One question that always comes up is like, do you do NFL stuff? And I thought I'd answer that. I do bet on the NFL. In fact, I've got 8 bets for the next set of games that I've already sent out to VIP. I do bet on the NFL, but I don't create content for it. And the reason being is I don't have the time. I honestly don't have the time to add NFL on top of the NBA stuff that I'm doing. If you didn't know, I've got 2 kids under the age of 4. I work a full-time job, which is at least 10 to 11 hours per day. So those things combined pretty much takes up my whole day. After I put my kids and my family, everyone's gone to bed at about 9 p.m. Between 9 p.m. and 1 a.m., I'm researching NBA plays, creating these YouTube videos, editing them, sending them out, taking care of VIP. Then I go to bed at about 1 or 2 a.m., and then I'm up at 5 because of the kids. Then I go get ready for work and do all that stuff. So I do not have a spare minute in my day to create NFL videos. If you're interested in checking out NFL, specifically my picks, I do have them NFL picks on my Winnable if you want to look at that, or you can join VIP as well, and then you'll get my stuff on that. So hopefully one day, if I'm successful in growing this YouTube channel big enough to the point where I can potentially leave my job and replace my income with the YouTube stuff, hell yeah, I'll be doing NFL stuff for sure. But for now, I can't do it. For the foreseeable future, I cannot see myself doing it either. I don't think I'm going to have that type of time. But that's all I got for you today, lads. I do hope you guys green out, that you have a wonderful day of betting. Stay disciplined, do the right thing, bet singles for God's sake. And if you're going to bet parlays, just bet a little bit. But best of luck to you all. I'll catch you guys in the next one. I appreciate y'all. Peace.